So let's talk about social justice in this country. Let's talk about these viral videos that show someone being racist that results in them losing their job or getting attacked. And then we have this video. I saw this being shared around from the Daily Sneed. I'm not sure who they are. They say, man allegedly harassed at his table calls these guys thugs and it upset them. They then try to provoke him to call them the N-word. Here we have a video, which I'll be selective in how I play because they do say, some racial slurs. You've got what looks like three black men arguing with some white guy, and he's not really saying much to them. Let me play some of this video for you.
Don't call us thugs, though. Don't call us thugs. Don't call us thugs. I'll call you. I didn't drink your drink. Don't call me a thug.
So what you is? If we thugs, so what you is?
I'm not a thug. I don't go to people's tables and harass them.
Man,
I don't know.
Don't call us a thug, bro. Don't call us a thug. I'm not a thug. Don't call me a
I can tell
thug.
you something crazy right now if I want to.
He just called us because we black.
I know.
Don't call us thugs, bro. Don't call us thugs.
So the guy goes back and sits down. They say, don't call us thugs. The dude gets over, barely says anything as they yell at him. And they say, you're racist. And he goes, okay, so I'm a racist. And they're yelling at him again. Then they tell him over and over again, say the N-word, say the N-word. They actually say it. These guys are getting in his face, and he doesn't take the bait. He doesn't take the bait. Good for this guy. I don't know who he is. Maybe he's a bad dude. Maybe he's a dick. But I got to tell you, man, they're filming him. Why? Because it's a con game. I just did a segment talking about how everything's fake. Think about the world you live in. It's all fake. This guy, here's what I think happens. This guy's sitting at his dinner table, minding his own business, eating his food. Three dudes walk up and are probably talking or saying something. Then they have words. This happens all the time. And he might be like, can you not bother me? And they're like, don't talk to us like that. And they walk over to his table and he's like, guys, can you get out of here? Then they start arguing. The staff member comes out, tells them to leave. They start filming him saying, oh, this, that, or otherwise. Now look, there may be a longer portion of this video somewhere. I get it. I'm not trying to single out this one incident because I don't know exactly what happened. But I see this and I see them yelling at this guy to call them the N-word. You know why? Because then they're going to go, oh, and they're going to have this video. And the video is going to go viral. And they're going to be like, find out who this guy is. He's a racist. And they're probably doing it already. Racism was just trending on Twitter. So many of the videos that we see where they tell you that someone's a bad person is staged. You take a look at that story. Remember that Karen, they called her, in the park? She's being filmed by some guy, a black man. And she's saying, she's calling the police. Now, don't get me wrong. Look, she calls the police. She exaggerates. Fine, whatever. She gets criminally charged. But the story was she was walking her dog and the guy tried coaxing her dog over with food and she yelled, stop. A strange man tries to feed your dog, could poison it. I'm not saying everybody's innocent in this regard. She called the police and said, I was all angry. And I don't remember, it's been a while since I talked about that story. But how many videos have we seen that go viral where they will tell you this person's bad, this person's a racist? And then it turns out the bad guy was the person filming and the social justice hoaxer. Yeah. It's not so much the hate crime hoax. It's the attacking people and staging things hoax so that they can make videos, go viral, generate sympathy. Look at this guy just minding his own business. This is not a guy who walked up to anybody else. He's sitting down eating food. Looks like he just started eating his food too. Talks to the staff. They get mad. They get in his face. They start yelling at him. Why? Everybody should just walk away. This guy tries. He goes and sits down. They don't back off. And now I bet you already have social justice warriors attacking this guy, saying that he did do something wrong by calling them thugs. This is the funny thing. They try to say that thug is like a racist word or whatever. And I'm just like, I don't know, don't video games and like tabletop RPGs use the word thug to represent just like an aggressive individual who's pushing you around or something like that? You can't call anybody that anymore. You can't get mad. This is how it goes. This is the lesson you're being taught, and I hope you take it right now. If you're minding your own business and eating dinner, and people come up to you and start yelling at you, apologize. That's what they want, apologize. Don't take the bait. There are a lot of people who do take the bait and they lose their jobs. There's video of some like UPS driver, and they yell at him and they say, call me that name, call me a word. And he goes, fine. He says it, and they're like, aha, I got you. Now your job is done. There was one video, this is crazy, where it was like a woman at her house. This is a long time ago I covered this. She's a woman at her own house. And she's asking a guy like what he's doing there. And it's a black guy. And he's like, why are you asking me? I'm just walking. And it's like, it turns out this is a guy who didn't live in the house, had been visiting. She didn't know who he was, and she asked him who he was, so he films her and accuses her of being racist. This is the problem. Look, man, I've seen stories where there's a guy at his own house. There was one that really pissed me off. There's a black man watering the flowers at his neighbor's house. Watering the flowers. Cops show up and say, who are you? And he's like, I'm John or whatever his name is. And they're like, what are you doing here? And he goes, watering the flowers. Why? And he's like, this is my friend's house, and they asked me to water their flowers while they're out of town. They were like, nope, show us your ID. And he goes, what? I live right there. So the cops come, they grab him, they take his information. Then the neighbors walk up and they're like, oh no, we know this guy, he lives here. Yeah, he's friends with this guy. He waters their flowers. And the cops are like, too bad. And they arrest him. Like, yeah, that stuff pisses me off. Or in Florida, there's a guy with a walking stick walking down the street, and the cop's like, what is that? And he's like, my walking stick, I'm blind. And then she's like, come over here, give me your ID. He's like, what for what? They arrest the guy. That stuff pisses me off. You show me a video of someone walking up to people screaming slurs at them, okay, fine. That pisses me off. Like, no, for sure. Like, I don't like that stuff. But you know what's happening now is people are baiting. They're trying to make these videos. They're trying to go viral. So they immediately pull out their cameras as if they're the aggrieved, even though these are the guys who aggressed upon him. Tell me the scenario, and maybe it exists. I'm not saying it's wrong. Tell me the scenario where this guy eating dinner, sitting at a table, saw these other guys walking down the street and then started fighting with them. How does that happen? Does he get up from his table and see them and yell at them and then go and sit down and then they walk over to him? No, it's bait. The whole world, it's all fake, man. This is what's really pissing me off about all of it. People are going to write stories. People are going to make things up. They're going to take things out of context. And this is what really gets me to the point of being just like, what, for what? For what? For what? I get things wrong. And if I get something wrong, I put out a video and then people get bad information. So I try everything to make sure I don't do that. But I'm not perfect and I get things wrong. Other people exploit the circumstances and exploit the scenario and then actually just lie, cheat, steal. Now we're in the era of deepfakes and AI. You know what's going to happen now? You film this video, the guy doesn't take the bait, so you go home, you upload the footage, you deepfake it. You can just inject the deepfake right into it. That's how scary things are going to be. You think deepfakes will only affect you in terms of being able to watch the president or whatever. What happens? You go out for a coffee, you're at a cafe. Someone cuts you in line, and you go, excuse me, you cut me in line. They spin around with the camera, and they're like, what did you just call me? What did you just call me? And you're like, I didn't call you anything. I said, you cut me in line. You called me this, that, or otherwise. And you're like, what? No, you cut me in line. And they go home. Then they deep fake it. And they spin around, and it's you spitting racial slurs. Who will believe you when you say, I never said those things? Like, bro, it's on video. That's a deep fake. Oh, nice try. Like some stranger deep faked you? That's so weird. But yeah, because then you're a justice warrior. Then people are going to go out, accuse random people of doing things. They're going to make fake people on the internet. They're going to lie, and people's brains will shatter. And there is nothing, as of right now, we can do to stop it. That's what's freaking me out. That's scary. There's going to be people who are, look, you know about the hate crime hoaxes and how they try to justify this stuff? They're going to make it up. And they're going to be kids who grow up in a world where they see nothing but videos of people being like, oh, yeah, I said this, that, or otherwise. And you're like, wow, who is that man? Not a real person. They're going to go insane. This information breakdown, I think, will drive society insane to the point of collapse. Imagine this. You get like an agricultural commissioner or whatever. A deep fake video of him saying corn production has been decimated. We are down by a substantial portion of our corn allotment, and we expect the price of corn to skyrocket. Somebody makes a fake video. They post it on the internet. All of a sudden, certain farming supplies and corn or whatever, prices are skyrocketing under the fear that there's going to be a shortage. Turns out there's an abundance. They lied. They trick you. They steal. What about somebody who wants to cause a panic? What about China? They already make AI deepfake videos. They got these viral videos of anchors talking about the news. And what happens if they deepfake, I don't know, Anderson Cooper, and they make a video of him saying something believable? This is the thing you got to understand. They're not going to come out and say a nuclear bomb was dropped on DC. No one will believe it. They'll be like, what? They're going to say something like a new pathogen has been discovered and there's fears of a potential pandemic as 12 people become sick with a new unknown ailment affecting their respiration. Several of these individuals have collapsed leading us to believe that the potential mortality rate of this could be substantial. What if it's something like that? Believable and scary. And then people panic, stop working. I think that's the future of warfare. You want to talk about controlling minds? This is where we go. It's freaky stuff. I don't know what else to say, man, because I don't know how you resist. I don't know how you fight back. I don't know how you stop this. I just don't. I'll leave it there. Next segment is coming up at 8 p.m. over at youtube.com/TimCastIRL. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all then.